Prepare for a fusion of knowledge and exhilaration, where education and excitement collide.
Taking you on an adventure that expands your mind and speaks to your spirit. This podcast contains sexually. Opinions expressed in this podcast are ours alone, based on our personal thoughts, feelings, and experiences.
We understand that others may have different opinions and experiences, and we respect that. We would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us at www.thedomlife.com. Welcome back, everybody, for another episode. Took a little bit of time to figure out what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, we had a bunch of stuff planned and then had to cancel them.
Yeah, so our schedules, our bullet points are a little bit off.
Yeah.
But today we're going to talk about the submissive perspective.
Yeah, it came from actually a couple of submissives had mentioned various things to me that we're bringing forth. And it's, I think, probably a good episode to do.
Yeah, why not? I might be able to have some intake on a submissive perspective.
You're going to have to, yeah.
Since our roles have completely almost switched.
Do you have some input?
Over the last 5 weeks.
Do you have some input?
Man, I can really tell you on why submissive wants to act out every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a culture shock for me, to say the least. Yeah. All right. So I guess one of the biggest questions that I know I've heard, I'm sure you've heard, maybe you can give some insight to it. Why do submissives want to submit?
So I think that a big part of it is nature. You know, you're always doing nature versus nurture, like how you're raised, although some of it is that. I think there's just something inside of us that wants to submit, right?
Okay.
And then you add in the fact that it meets needs that we have, right? So a routine, structure, it allows us to have those types of very defined, like I've always been the type of person that I love school because I get a grade. You hand me a grade. I know I'm doing good.
Right.
It's awesome. That feedback. And I think in a relationship, you start losing that. You don't know if your partner is happy. You don't know if, you're checking in. So this way, you're setting up rules and structures and I'm following it. So I'm getting that good girl. I'm getting that need to meet your demands, I guess, your needs. So how do I meet your needs if I don't know what they are?
Right.
And in a DS relationship, you're truly setting up what the parameters are. And I had that talk with you way back in the beginning. And I said,
way back,
if you're not happy, it's on you.
Right.
It's not on me because I'm letting you lead this relationship. As a result, your happiness, if you're not happy, then reset up that structure.
Right.
So does that make sense?
Yeah,
I think that's a big part of it. And in DS relationships, you get that feedback of you're doing good job. Or, there's a certain setup where even when you don't say good job, when I've accomplished it, I feel like I've done my job.
Right. When there's a task or something laid out at hand and you get it completed, it's kind of a good feeling that I've done exactly what they wanted. And then now you're waiting for that response of, are they satisfied? Are they pleased? Did I do a good enough job and all that? So you've got all that kind of mentality going on in your head.
And I think a lot of times in relationships, you don't get that. Like you don't get that instant feedback. Men aren't designed to do that.
Right.
Women are. Women always say, man, that was such a good job, or wonderful, or thank you so much for helping me, or I'm really sorry I impacted you. Women are naturally set up for that. Men use a lot fewer words.
Yeah.
And so those kind of feedback aren't given.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's roles, rituals, and tasks. And it's from like, let's say it's an emotional perspective. So we've already done the positive part of that, but the negative is it is very easy for a dominant to really hurt or hinder a submissive's self-worth. So just like I'm saying the positive side, positive reinforcements, I'm accomplishing the tasks. If you set up tasks that are unattainable,
Right.
if you're aloof and you don't actually give me feedback when I need it, now you're hitting a submissive's
Right.
needs, right? So there's a whole side of it. I submit because in this relationship, I get that feedback and the things that I need from you. I feel good about myself because I'm getting that reward for completing the tasks. You
Right.
set them up. And flip side of that, if you said, hey, Lady D, every single day, I need you to A, B, or C. And I can't do it because I'm going to work or because whatever. Now I'm losing some of that
Right.
positive
Right.
reinforcement.
It's more of a negative. It's like if I set you up for failure.
And a lot of sometimes jobs do that, right? Where they don't do training and stuff. And
Correct.
I think it exists in relationships too.
Right.
Where
Yep.
unrealistic expectations, but at least in DS relationships, if they're healthy,
Right.
you're communicating all that. You're
Right.
discussing and
You
communicating.
already know what can and can't be done, and you already know each other's expectations, and then therefore, and even on the flip side of that, so in the beginning, like you said, if I'm not happy, it's because I'm not doing something right. But also on the flip side of that, so as a dom, their role is to teach and educate and make the submissive a better person.
Yes.
So it takes time to mold that and to build that. And then from there, once that has been accomplished, that's where the dom can then start leading the way that they want to lead.
Yes, which is why we had some struggles pretty
Right.
big in the beginning because we set up a contract.
Right.
And now we're structuring it, and we hadn't
molded that relationship well enough to start that, to do that.
Yes. Right? And I think that one of the other things that can be very difficult is that submissives many times have a very dominant role in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And in their, leading the children and taking care of the household and doing CEOs of companies and,
Right.
Responsible for so much that they want to give up the control, but it can also be hard to actually give up the control.
Right.
When you give me a command that I am not down for, it is a struggle for me to go, do I do this today or do I not do this today?
Right.
Which way do we want to go? Because if I choose not to, then there's likely some sort of punishment that's going to occur.
Correct. Yep. And then that's when you've got to weigh the scales of good girl or brat. Which way do I want to go today? Which is a whole nother topic as well. I think there's, and we might get into it a little bit here.
A little bit.
But also into there is some submissives that they are bratty. They want to be bratty.
Right.
So, and I think that is another topic for future episode to get into is, for one, why do you submit? But for two, why do you submit and be bratty to receive punishments? So there's just like a whole lot balled up there. But again, that's
right.
We'll
we
do
get into a little bit of
on this one.
Right. A little bit of it.
Right. So now, interesting topic here, for like safe words. We stress, we preach, we talk all the time, the importance of communication, trust, safe words, those are like the main three things altogether. Safe words are put into place not only for the submissive's safety, but also for the dominant safety.
Yes.
If the dominant sees something the submissive is doing that may cause harm to the submissive or could cause harm to the dominant has every right to call a safe word as well.
Yes.
So safe words are put into place, for everybody's safety. And especially, it's most importantly in the beginning when you're trying to learn each other,
or when you're pushing, even further in when you're pushing.
That's later on. But in the
Right.
beginning, when you're learning, safe words are very important. And then you start to understand each other. And, like for me, I know your body language.
Yes,
I
you
know
do.
when you are enjoying it. I know when I am pushing you. And I can almost tell when you're at your limits right before you call a safe word.
Yes.
But sometimes I'm wrong.
Right.
Sometimes you don't use a safe word.
Right.
So why is there times knowing that this safe word is there, knowing that I've never gotten mad or irritated for you using a safe word, why would a submissive choose to not use safe words?
So there's a couple of reasons for this, and it's strange because I've actually had conversations with other submissives about this. This is one of the topics that comes up is the use of safe words.
Right.
So sometimes a submissive will not use a safe word because they're trying to please their dominant. And if their dominant is a sadist and
Right.
wants to push further than they want to go, they want to please their dominant.
Right.
And so we don't have that situation in our relationship because we're lucky enough that you play in the dungeon with other women. So you can get your
Right.
bite of a sadist out there without having it to be me.
Right.
But there are some people where they want their dominant, they don't cross over and play with other people. That dominant is with you. This is a closed relationship.
Right.
And in that situation, they may not use their safe word in order to allow their dominant to meet their needs.
Right.
Right? So the
Correct.
dominant's needs, and that can be dangerous. Sometimes it can be the opposite. Like, I know that there are situations where you're pushing me and you expect me to use my safe word. I know you can read my body and
Yep.
you could stop it, but sometimes you just want to push that envelope just so to see, let's see how far I can get her today. Right. And because that has a tendency to make subspace better. Mm-hmm. Like if you're pushing deeper, sometimes you fall into a deeper subspace as well, just because you let go of some of your body stuff.
Right.
But if I know that you're trying to get me to say a safe word, it might be a bratty thing to not say it. Like,
right.
Oh, we're still at green, even though we're not, and we're not.
Right. Right. Yeah, there's been times I'm like, there's no way you're taking all this, and you're just sitting up there, and I could tell with every hit, with every tap, the body flinches a certain way. I know it's not enjoyment, but the fact that you're still standing there taking it and doing it and not saying anything, yeah, that's kind of like a cat and mouse kind of game right there that goes on,
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's other times that it could be a power struggle.
Okay.
So I think that for very dominant and strong women, maybe not just and men, but for people who tend to be leaders in their lives, not saying a safe word may be a point of pride. It
Right.
may be, you don't get that from me. You're not strong enough to take my safe word or for me to give my safe word, which isn't a good or healthy thing.
Correct.
Those are the kind of things that you really need to address, because we just had a situation, right? Funny story that we're talking about this today, when you talked to somebody who said, I don't have a safe word.
Well, no, they said, I don't use a safe word.
So that is saying to you in advance, I don't use a safe word, means I don't believe that you're strong enough.
Right. To push them over the edge.
And to me, that's not healthy.
Right.
unless there's other things behind it, which you didn't get into.
I didn't ask questions. I want to go further into the discussion. I just didn't feel like at that moment
that it was the right
that
time.
was the right time to discuss that. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Was it that they know me enough or think they know me enough to want to challenge me, or is it something they actually do in an everyday life with
right? Because if you
whoever
say
they
that
are?
to a dominant, now
Yeah.
that dominant is going to push themselves
Oh, yeah.
maybe to the point where it's not safe for you because they feel like maybe I can get this person to use a safe word. And that's not a good way to enter into any discussion about dungeon play.
Correct.
But I would like to know more.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
interested in knowing more.
I'm definitely going to want to take that discussion even further with them to try to understand it. Again, one, for the healthy side of things. If they want to explore into the BDSM world, I don't want them going to just anybody and everybody and letting them know that they don't use safe words, because I feel that could get them into a very dangerous, unsafe situation that could end horribly for them.
Right.
Or was it more of I'm going to be a brat to you today and tell you that, because I'm not going to lie. The minute I heard it, my mind immediately went to, okay, fucking challenge accepted.
But see, but you're a safe dom. Like,
Yes.
you've played with enough different women
Right.
at enough different levels of experience and pain tolerance that you would never push somebody that you've just started with
Correct.
to an extreme
I'm
level.
kind of thinking maybe it was just said to me.
Right.
For
Which
that
is the
reason.
hope.
Yes.
Which
But
is the hope.
We will find out
We will.
once we get back into that discussion with them.
So there are a lot of different reasons, and I think it's very important to find out if your submissive will use a safe word. And one of the only ways to find out is by amping up your play to the point where you said, you see my body flinching.
Right.
And it is not flinching in a good way.
Correct.
So if you take that another step up and I don't use a safe word, then at that point you have to make some decisions on what to do.
Right.
What would be your response if you know I should have safe word? You've amped it up. Now what are your responses
For
to
me,
that?
in a situation like that, if there was a time that you refused to do a safe word, but I could tell by your body language, by your reactions, that you was not enjoying it, I would end the scene.
Okay.
I would end it. We would do the aftercare. We'd make sure everything's good. But then it would be a me and you off by ourselves, nobody else around. And it would be a open communication of me telling you that I seen your body reactions. I seen the flinches. I seen the way you was moving. It wasn't sexy. It wasn't enjoyment. It wasn't any of that. I was seeing pain. I was seeing discomfort. I was seeing you not enjoying yourself, and try to get you to openly communicate with me why you chose not to use a safe word.
I think that to me was one of the first things that I thought too. The right way for our dynamic and for people who are considerate of the other person who cares, that's the right way to handle it, I
think that's where you could cross that very thin, very light gray line. Again, you could be a sadist. There's nothing wrong with being a sadist. A sadist inflicts pain on others. However, through my eyes, if I'm inflicting pain on somebody else that did not want it, was not enjoying it, to me, that's crossing the line.
Right.
That is not BDSM.
Right.
In my eyes.
Yes.
There is a lot of people that will disagree. Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Well,
in my eyes, if I just put somebody on the cross and I am inflicting pain because I want to inflict pain, and I know I can tell
they're
100% they're not enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's not BDSM. That's crossing the line. So if I'm amping it up and you're refusing to give a safe word, I would feel that I would be crossing the line, continuing to amp it up, or staying at the level that I'm at.
Okay.
I feel that would be crossing the line more into assault or abuse versus BDSM.
Right. Right. I am with you 100% because just like we were talking about the play that we watched over at the Leather and Kink weekend, where they were pushing the submissive down onto the Legos and everything, there was giggling and laughter.
Correct.
And there was, even though I was looking at going, that looks like I couldn't even handle a bit of that. That relationship, that dynamic was enjoyable still for the person.
Although they would say ow or scream out a painful thing, usually, and 99% of the time after the painful scream was a joyful giggle.
Right, exactly.
So, but the body movements, they would flinch, but then you would just kind of see them release and go into it. I mean, it was the body movements. You could have took away the sound.
Right.
And you could still tell that hurts, but look at that body movement. They're still enjoying it.
Yes.
So that is, a telltale sign. I've said it before, being a good dom, you have to watch, you have to observe, you have to learn your partner and your submissive. And once you start to learn, that's when you can start pushing the edge a little bit and seeing where they go.
You tell new people on the cross that you're playing with at the club, you've not touched them before, they want to experience it. Yep. You leave them wanting. You don't take them anywhere close to their edge. You're just trying to let them experience.
Right.
I think doms that are new have to learn that. Yes. Like, you want them to experience it, right, but you're not trying to cause them to go, I hate this forever, I'm leaving.
Oh, there's been several that I've had that I wanted to go so much further. I mean, wanted to explore with them so much further. But again, yes, like you said, for first timers, especially first timers, sometimes second timers or third timers, I want to leave them wanting more.
Yep.
In hopes that they come off the cross, they get with their partner, and then them and their partner start exploring.
Yes, exactly.
But there's been a few that I'm like, fuck, I want to keep going.
I know. And I can tell, usually they're very short.
Yeah.
And they're very responsive. Their body is moving, and you can tell that they are sinking and enjoying into it. And I can see that that's your point of, ooh, I'm enjoying this. Right. Like, you love showing everybody, but short, little, very responsive women are your, like,
when their body starts getting into it and you start hearing them,
and they're crawling the cross,
they're crawling up it, or you'll hear them, with just joy and excitement coming out, and little hums or just little sounds. Yeah, those are the ones that my mind switches to, finish her, but I know I can't.
I love you so much. I love you so much.
It takes great restraint to hold back sometimes, but I think I've been pretty successful at it.
It's been a little bit crazy. So we obviously are not playing. We are not doing any dungeon play. There's been no.
Sucks.
It sucks so bad. I don't even know when we'll get to the point because there's just so much damage.
Yeah.
But that leads me to a quick update.
Okay.
Master Nick.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do that's a little bit kooky? Just saying.
Yeah, well, I did what we talked about 2 weeks ago on the episode. I did go. I said I was either getting 1 or 3 piercings. Just so everybody knows, I now have 4.
4.
Yep. Was a little uncomfortable.
It's still a little bit uncomfortable.
It's still a little uncomfortable.
Well, that's because you went back. The 3 that you had, the initial.
Yeah. So I went that Monday for either 1 or 3. I left there with 3. I went ahead and asked for the 4th. They didn't have time. They said, in 4 to 6 weeks for me to come back. they would downsize the bars because they put
very
wide bars in to allow for any swelling or any of that. They said, come back in 4 to 6 weeks when everything's starting to heal up. They was going to downsize. We'll do the 4th one then. I was like, okay, cool, we'll do that. And I thought about that all week. And I think it was that weekend, the weekend after I'm sitting there going, I'm like, well, fuck, if I wait 4 to 6 weeks and then get another one, that resets my fucking clock.
For it to heal so
time.
that you can have sex.
Yeah. So I'm like, screw that. So I pulled up my phone, pulled up their app, and I went and scheduled that following Monday. So the first Monday I got 3. I waited a week. I went back for the 4th.
And the 4th is the closest to your body. And that one is getting a little bit hung up more than the other one.
And it's just the type of underwear that I wear. It hangs a little more.
Separatech. It's separate. You know, where it separates all your little bits down there.
So life-changing experience.
Big bits.
Life-changing experience for you guys out there. If you work in any kind of climate conditions where it gets hot, you know what I'm talking about. When everything sticks to each other and you do that little nonchalant stretch, spreading your legs out, shifting your hips around.
It's not nonchalant. Women, watch this.
It's nonchalant.
It is not. You guys separate your legs and you kind of...
Yeah, you're trying to separate the frank from the beans and the beans from your legs. Let me tell you, life-changing. It changed my whole world, changed my aspect on life. Separatech underwear. Not only do they have the pouch that holds the balls, you've got a pouch
for just your penis,
just the dick.
The head.
And nothing touches nothing.
Yeah.
No matter how hot you get, it will not stick to each other. Love them. However,
when you have a Jacob's ladder.
When you have the Jacob's ladder and the last piercing's right at the pretty much base of your dick.
It gets pulled
it gets
a little
hung
bit.
Quite a bit. So I apologize. I don't know if I've had to readjust anything during this episode. But if I have, that's the reason why.
I am readjusting too, but that would be just because I have broken bits all up inside of me and All
right, so back on track, back on topic here.
So you did it. Yay.
Yes, I did.
All right, back on track.
And I was proudly showing it off last night at Tempted's Halloween party.
Yeah, we ended up, okay, so since he brought it up, we went to Club Tempted yesterday. It was the first time since, the accident.
This was the first personal outing.
Yes, everything's been doctors. Well, we did buy a car because we had to. It was time. But it was the first personal outing. And it was their Halloween big bash, and we've gone to all of them.
Yes.
And so
we already had the tickets. We had purchased the VIP seating table. Not VIP. We purchased a table upstairs. We had all of that purchased prior to your accident.
No, I think it doesn't matter. But the thing is, we had it. We were like, they reached out to us. This is how amazing Club Tempted is. The managers, Tanya, who is in the middle of their busiest busy, reached out and said, you're probably not coming. Do you need to release the tickets back to us? We can refund you. You need the table, blah, blah, blah. And it was so sweet because it was 2 days before the event that she's reaching out to me. And I felt like that was just the most amazing thing. And it's, but we had decided to go because we thought of the perfect costume. And when you have the perfect costume, you have to go. So what was our costume, Master Nick?
So I decorated your wheelchair. We put psych ward on the back of it. We had got you a straight jacket.
What? I don't need a straight jacket.
Yep. And then you finally styled your hair to your personality, and you looked like Loony Lady Dee.
I had ponytails all up and down.
I had my Dr. Scrub pants on with my doctor coat with the sleeves cut out of it.
And it said Dr. Master Nick.
Dr. Master Nick.
And the back of mine.
The back of so we had to put the straight jacket on backwards.
The buckles had to be in the front because my back was resting against the wheelchair.
You could not sit against that. So we had to put your straight jacket on backwards. But on the back of it, we did put on there, avoid eye contact. And we made our way to Club Tempted and we stayed longer than I actually thought we would.
Some painkillers.
We didn't stay as long as we normally do when we go to the club.
Right,
but
because we stayed down on the lower level,
Yep.
and I stayed in my wheelchair. The only time I actually got up and moved, because I was told by my doctor, do not fall.
Right.
She made it quite clear that falling would be very bad for my health right now because the fractures are starting to heal and stuff.
Right.
So the only time I stood up was to use the walker to do like 5 steps into the bathroom directly behind us and to the stall. That was the only time I used the walker. The rest of the time, I was in my wheelchair protected by you. You had to sit right directly behind me. So we did go for Halloween.
We did. We made it for Halloween. It was a great time. Loved everybody that stopped by.
And they all said our costume is amazing.
Yep, everybody loved our costumes.
And then half the people went, oh, that's for real, isn't it? We saw about your accident.
Well, there was some people said, so is the wheelchair real or is it a prop? I'm like, well, no, I mean, it's real. She has to have it to get around. And then some people had heard about it. They follow us on social media or they listen to our podcast. But yes, for those of you that not only came to Club Tempted's Halloween party, I mean, it was sold out. It was packed.
It was crazy.
DJ S. kept the dance floor popping all night. It was packed.
The beginning of the night, you wheeled me across it.
5 minutes after they opened, I got you on the dance floor and I spun you around and made you do the moonwalk in your wheelchair.
My wheelchair.
But by 8 o'clock, there was no getting you on the dance floor, and it stayed packed all night. But
we just sat at a table.
For everybody that came to Club Tempted last night, I know you had a great time. We could tell it. It was a great vibe. Everybody was laughing, having a good time. For those of you that stopped by to say hi, to talk to us,
thank you.
Fucking love you for it.
Love it.
You all are amazing. The support that you all have showed throughout all of this has been great.
It absolutely has.
But I was glad that we was able to make it out.
I got to see some friends that were, just because of schedules, haven't been able to get out.
Right.
And I bawled because a couple of times, just because I got to hug friends and they're like, oh my God, thank God you're still with us.
Right.
So,
yeah, it was good.
It was very good.
All right, back to topic.
But I'm hurting today, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, today's been a little rough for you.
It's been a little rough.
We probably should have left earlier than we did.
I know,
night.
But it was so wonderful. Okay.
All right, so let's go back. Let's get back to why submissive submit.
Please follow, like, and share our podcast.
Make sure to visit thedomlife.com, where you can find pictures and other details about the Dom Life podcast. And through the Contact Us button, you can ask questions or provide recommendations for future episodes.
We want to explore your kink too.
Be sure to check out upcoming events to see where our adventures are taking us and our photo gallery to where we've been.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you had fun listening and learning with us.
Till next time, keep calm and remember your safe word.
Red, red, red.